So with the new Predator movie coming out this week, I decided, hey, why not just go back and rewatch the original and give a review on that just before I go see the new one. So within the first 5 minutes of watching this movie, you know exactly what you're in for.
You son of a bitch.
The amount of testosterone in this movie is so high. So, an alien ship lands on Earth. Unrelated to that, a group of special force operatives are gathered together and are sent into South America to take out a guerrilla group. After doing so, they discover that they are being hunted by something not of this world and are slowly being picked off one by one. A lot of the actors in this movie are well-known action movie stars like, of course, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Bill Duke, Jesse Ventura, and Carl Weathers. Also, Shane Black is in this movie. Now, bit of a fun fact, Shane Black, who plays Rick Hawkins in this movie, the guy who makes the sexual jokes all the time.
I was going down to my girlfriend. I said to her, "Jeez, you got a big pussy. Jeez, you got a big pussy." She said, "Why did you say that twice?" I said, "I didn't." See, it's because of the echo.
He is directing the new Predator movie, so just a bit of a fun fact for you. The Predator herself, I guess, is a character, although not so much as a character, but is like more of an unstoppable presence that's always there. You always feel the Predator's presence there through the infrared vision that you see, and you always get the feeling that it's around stalking everybody. So, acting in this movie, it ranges from pretty bad to pretty good and everything in between. Arnold Schwarzenegger, although has great charisma, is very entertaining to watch. He is not the best actor. Most of the actors in this, they do pretty well. Like, you're not watching this movie for the acting and the dialogue. The only dialogue you really want to get out of this movie is the awesome one-liners that come out of it.
Yeah. Stick around.
This movie is very quotable and has a lot of quotable lines in it.
This stuff will make you a goddamn sexual tyrannosaurus. Just like me.
By John Tiernan. I'm never going to get through one review without mispronouncing someone's name. It's not going to happen. He has directed, over the years, he has directed a lot of well-known action movies. Like, for example, I don't know if you've heard of it, just Die Hard, and also some other action movies like The Hunt for Red October, Die Hard with a Vengeance, which was not that great. The Last Action Hero, again with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and The 13th Warrior, which I don't think has gotten the best reviews, but I enjoyed. So again, in this movie, he shows his excellent talent at directing action movies in this film. All the action is way over the top, and it is so enjoyable to watch. There are, especially when they're attacking the guerrilla camp near the start of the movie, there are so many explosions and over-the-top explosions that this movie must have had a hand in directing. It must have had a hand in inspiring Michael Bay with his movies. Like, there's scenes where like they shoot the minigun and whatever they're shooting at, it explodes somehow. I don't know how that makes sense, but it is so entertaining to watch. The Predator stalking the Special Forces team is also very entertaining. As I said before, you always feel its presence there, and it's so enjoyable to watch him stalking these men and women, and him just pick him or her, whatever the Predator is, just stalking them and picking them off one by one, and it's very violent and very gory, over the top. I love it. Although with the choreography towards the end, when Dutch is going hand to hand with the Predator, the punches are slow, obviously very choreographed, and they choose the most, like, the funniest punching sound effects that I've ever heard in a movie. The movie has an amazing soundtrack. Don't have much to say on that. The main theme is amazing. I'm not using the soundtrack because I don't want to get a copyright strike against me in the future. Although I might, just because I'm using film clips, even though that's under fair use. Anyway. There's no real production design in this movie. They did actually film it in the jungle. So no CGI or anything like that in like movies that you see nowadays or on a set. It is actually in the jungle. And the stories from the cast and crew who made this movie, it must have been absolute hell to be in that heat, in that humidity, carrying around all that gear, trying to act and run around, and they must have went through hell to bring in this movie, and I am very, very appreciative for it. Special effects is a funny one. CGI, I should say, is a funny one. Sometimes when the Predator is camouflaged, it does look pretty good and seems to hold up pretty well, but there are other times when he's camouflaged and it looks so fake. Like, this movie did come out in 1987, and I'm sure they looked amazing at the time, but a lot of it has not held up well. One scene comes to mind when the Predator attacks people and then it's like scooting and shuffling through the trees and just looks so fake. As I said before, other times it looks pretty good. The effects from the Predator's shoulder cannon or plasma caster, which is the actual name for it, not that they say that in the movie, do look pretty good, considering it came out in 1987. The practical effects, though, is amazing. The suit for the Predator suit looks absolutely amazing, and so, well, it is real, but it looks so authentic. You can tell a lot of effort went into the design of the suit. But the actor in the suit must have nearly died, I guess, being in that thing and being in the super hot, super humid climate during that. Ugh, he must have went through literal hell. But yeah, practical effects, love it. Pacing is very fast. One star of the movie, they're getting the exposition, getting their mission at the military camp, and then, boom, on a helicopter, straight into the jungle, guns blazing. Literally. It also has an hour and a half runtime. Actually, I think it's about 100 minutes long. So an hour and a half. So for me, that movie, an action movie with not much of a plot, that's the sweet spot. Hour and a half, not any longer than that. Beautiful. So the pros are great over-the-top action, awesome memorable one-liners,
Get to the chopper!
fantastic practical effects, i.e. the Predator suit, so much testosterone in this movie, and also a great soundtrack. The few cons are a lackluster plot, although I had a tough time deciding whether this was a con, because you didn't really need a really in-depth plot for this movie. The pretty poor acting, although that doesn't detract from the movie too much, and a lot of the CGI is pretty dated by today's standards, but that's to be expected in a movie made in 1987. So the rating I'm going to give this movie is an 8 out of 10. When this movie first came out, it got pretty mixed reviews, especially from the critics when it first came out. Although nowadays it's considered one of the best action movies of all time, which goes to show, even if a movie comes out and the reviews are pretty poor, that over time people may eventually love it, which is good to see. Makes me wonder on what kind of movies that come out nowadays that get terrible reviews, and then like 20, 30 years down the track that they'll be regarded as the best film or whatever in their genre. Alrighty, my review for Predator before The Predator comes out, which I'll go see this week, and we'll hopefully have a review up this week as well. As always, thank you so much for watching and sitting and listening to me ramble around about a movie for however long this video goes for after editing. Thank you so much again. I'll see you in the next video.